Welcome to Advanced PowerPoint 2010. Lesson 1, Animations. PowerPoint 2010 offers you ways to create more interactive presentations by adding animation effects to the text and graphic objects on your slides. This feature allows you to choose specific parts of the slide to animate, which is unlike working with transitions, this tab here, since transitions will only allow you to animate an entire slide and not specific sections of a slide. Groups and items on the Animations tab. Preview allows you to preview your animation. Then you have the animation gallery here. Click on your animation and you can see that when you click this button here, you have different animation sections. Entrance, for example, this one here, allow you to apply animations like fading in or flying in to the text or object as it becomes displayed on the slide. Next section is emphasis, which allow you to apply animations like underlining or changing the color or spinning to the text or object as applicable while it remains on the screen. Exit allow you to apply animations like fading out or floating out to the text or object as it leaves the slide. And then motion pass, which allow you to apply a specific path for your text or object to move along. Types of motion pass include infinity loop, turns, and custom motion pass, which you can set. And you can always click on more effects, so more entrance, emphasis, exit, or motion pass to access much more effects. So for example, if you click on more entrance effects, you have a whole long list of different entrance effects you can apply. And by the way, if there is an animation item that's not applicable to a text or object, it'll be grayed out and therefore unusable. For example, if I click on this text object down here and then go back, to the animation gallery, you can see that font color and underline are available. But if I click on picture object and then go back to the animation gallery, some of these are grayed out since it's not applicable to a picture. These are applicable only to text objects. After you've chosen your animation from the animation gallery, you would then click the type of effect that you want to apply here. You have horizontal in, horizontal out, vertical in, vertical out, and again you can see a preview as I hover over each one. And then you have sequence. The next group on the Animations tab is the Advanced Animation. And you can also click on the dialog box launcher here for more effect options. The next group in the Animations tab, Advanced Animation. You could add additional animation effects here by clicking this button, or you can display the animation pane by clicking this button here, or the animation painter. or you can create a special trigger that will activate an animation. More on these items in the sections ahead. And then finally we have the timing group, which allows you to set the duration of your animation and when to begin the animation. For example, setting a delay before the animation starts. And you can also change the order of your animations as they are initiated on the slide. Using the animation pane. Once you've added an animation to your text or object, click the animation pane button found under the advanced animation group of the animations tab. This will display your animation pane to the right. And you'll notice also that there are numbers that appear by your objects, and these also correspond to what are found in the animation pane. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Displayed in the animation pane is a list of the animations that you've added to each of your objects and text items on the current slide. Note the following items. The play button, which when you click play will show your animation, and also it'll show on the right here the timeline, and you can click stop anytime to stop it. The animation type symbol, shown here, is added to the right of the animation number and reflects what type of animation was applied to the particular text or object item. Green stars correspond to entrance animations, while yellow stars indicate emphasis animations and red stars indicate exit animations, which correspond to what you'll find in the animation gallery. Entrance are green stars, emphasis are yellow, and exit are red. And motion are lines. So you can see here in the animation pane, there's an entrance animation, and then a line, and then two more entrance animations. Next, you'll see the text or object affected, which is the name of the text or object affected to the right of the type symbol. And to the right of the name, you'll see the advanced timeline, which is a rectangle that indicates the length of the animation in seconds. You can click on the drop down of an animation anytime to change the behavior of the animation, and I'll talk more about how to do this shortly. Down below you have the seconds zoom level, which when you zoom in or out will change the timeline that you're working with. So for example, if I click zoom out, you can see that the timeline will shrink down. Of course, you can click on these arrows here to also change your timeline. And lastly, I want to talk about the reorder buttons. So when you click on an animation, you'll see that the reorder, the move up and move down arrows are displayed. So when you click one on, say the move up will move it up, and the move down will move it down, so that, and you can see it corresponds over here that your animations are changing order. The animation painter. Just as you can use the format painter to format, you can use the animation painter to help you quickly copy and apply a specific animation to other objects in your slides. To use the animation painter, select the text or object that has the animation which you would like to copy and apply elsewhere. So in this case, I'm going to copy the animation that's been applied to the picture here. So I'll click it on, and then once I do, you'll see that in the Animations tab, Advanced Animation Group, Animation Painter will be clickable. Click it on, and you'll see that your cursor turns into a paintbrush by the arrow. Then you just go to the other object that you want to apply it to and click it on. So what it did was it copied the exact animation and applied it to the new object, and you can see in the animation pane it's exactly the same as in the first slide. And by the way, you can double click the animation painter to pin it so that you can apply it to more than one object at a time. Working with animation settings. Selecting a specific animation in the animation pane will display its drop-down from which you can set different settings for the animation's behavior. You can set the animation's trigger event, timing options, add sounds when it displays, and more. So when you click on an animation in the animation pane, and then you'll see a drop down here, click that on, and you'll see that you can choose when the animation will start based on a specific event. So you can choose start on click, which means that your animation will begin when the mouse is clicked anywhere on the current slide. And by the way, this is the default setting for each animation. If you choose to start with previous, the animation will begin at the same time as the animation that comes before it, which is the one displayed above it in the list. And if you start after previous, the animation will begin after the previous animation. Effect options. When you click that on, will bring up your effect options dialog box, which in this case it's named the same name as the effect. So this is the basic swivel applied to this object, so it's going to be named basic swivel dialog box. Then you have your effect and timing tabs, and this is similar to what you'll find on the effect options and the dialog box when you click on the dialog box launcher. Settings allows you to change the effect settings for horizontal or vertical, and again, these depend on the type of object. So for example, this is being applied to the picture, and if I go up here, you also see that the setting option is horizontal or vertical, which displays when I hover over it. It's the same thing when I open up that effect options. You can choose some horizontal or vertical, but when I click on the text object in the pane, you'll see that the effect options change since it's a different type of object. Now you have different types of direction in the settings, and again, if I go up here to effect options, you'll see that it changed because now I'm working with a different type of object, in this case text. Next, in the enhancement section, you can choose to apply a sound to the animation. The default is no sound. After animation allows you to change the color of the text and hide the animation after some event. Animate text allows you to animate the text one word or one letter at a time, setting the percentage delay between the animation of each word or letter. The timing tab, which is similar to the timing group on the animations tab of the ribbon, allows you to choose when the animation starts and whether or not you want to delay the animation, and also the duration of the animation, whether or not to repeat, and if you want to add a trigger. Again, a trigger is just some event that takes place in your slide that will trigger your animation. And another way to apply a trigger is to click on your object and then go to Advanced Animation Group, Trigger, and then you can set your options. You can see that when you go to the effect options for a picture, it only has 2 tabs, whereas the text will have 3, since there's the text animation tab added. And the text animation is similar to what can be found up here in effect options. It's a sequence section at one object, all at once, or paragraph. So it's just you're specifying when you want to display your text, so all at the same time as one object, or to display them separately but all at the same time, or by paragraph. So each one will be displayed separately and at separate times. And going back to the drop down, the next one is Hide Advanced Timeline, which will just toggle your advanced timeline being shown. And then remove if you want to remove that animation. Adding additional animations. To add more animations to text and objects, simply select the text or object that already has an animation applied to it, and then go to the Animations tab on the ribbon, Advanced Animation Group, Add Animation, and then make your selection. You'll see that an additional animation has been added in the animation pane for that object, so that when I play it, you notice that the picture will have 2 animations, one at the beginning and then the zoom at the end. Adding and editing motion paths. As mentioned previously, you can select many types of motion paths in which your object or text will move along. You can select from pre-built motion paths or create your own. To add a motion path, click on your object, go to the Animations tab, and then Animation Group, click on the Animation Gallery flyout button, More. Go down the Motion Path section and choose your motion path. Or you can go to More Motion Paths to select from a larger list. And again, when you click it on, you can see the preview down below. Once you've added your animation path, your motion path, you'll see an animation number displayed, and then the path itself displayed on the object. And you can change any time by going back to the animation gallery. And just selecting the new motion path. The motion path consists of a green arrow pointing to the direction that the object will be animated. And the green arrow also indicates a starting position. So it will start here. And then the dotted line is the path of the animation. And then the red arrow at the end is where the animation will stop. To edit a motion path, click on the motion path and then go to the Animations tab, Animations group, and click on the Effect options. You can change the direction of your path. Or the origin, whether you want to lock or unlock it. Unlocking means that the path will adjust itself to keep in relative position when the object is moved elsewhere on the slide. Edit points. When you click that on, you'll see the points on the path. If you click and drag the point, you can manually change the path. And finally, you can reverse the path direction. So that's the original direction from left to right. If I click this on, it'll reverse from right to left. You can set further attributes for the motion path by accessing the motion path's animation dropdown and then go into Effect options. Here you can select how the motion will start or end, and even select a sound to play while the object starts along the motion path. And you can access this same dialog box by going to the dialog box launcher here. To create a custom motion path, go to the Animations tab and click on the More flyout in the animation gallery. Then go down to More motion paths. Then go down to the Custom path under Motion paths. You see that your mouse cursor turns into a crosshair. Click the cursor at the point where you want to start your motion path and then drag so that you'll see that it's a pencil right now and you're drawing your new path, your custom path. You can left click your mouse for every point you want to create along the path. When you're done, just double click or hit the escape key. And of course you can change the timing and other effects by going to either going to Effect options or Timing in the drop down. Chart animation. Charts can be animated to grab your viewer's attention when discussing important statistics. You can add animations to your charts based off the chart's items such as category or series. To animate a chart, insert your chart into your slide and edit your chart as necessary. Once you're done, select it and then go to the Animations tab. Next, go to Effect Options drop-down. Here you can choose the sequence of the animation. As one object animates the chart as one animation event, so you can see that the whole chart will come down at once. By series, we'll animate each series on the chart one at a time. By category, we'll animate each category on the chart one at a time. By element and series, we'll animate each series on the chart, where each series is displayed one category at a time. And by element and category, we'll animate each series on the chart, where all series are displayed in one category at a time, with each series in that category displayed one at a time. And you can change the element's individual animation effect at any time by selecting it from the animation pane and then clicking on a new effect from the animation gallery. So if you want to change any of the given elements, their animation, just click it on and then go to the animation gallery and choose the animation that you want. And that concludes Lesson 1, Animations.